Hello everyone, it's Brian. Warning, this may be a long video. So I'm going to call this video The Purge, Part 1. Now, to be fair though, I've had this bin or this crate of records sitting on my floor for quite a while, of things I was fairly sure I was going to get rid of. And the reason that I'm getting rid of these records, or at least I think I'm getting rid of these records, is that they don't appeal to me, or they're in rough shape, or they're a duplicate. But I would be curious if you think I'm making a mistake on any of these. So let me know in the comments if you think I should keep some. I mean, the ones that are damaged, that's pretty obvious. I should get rid of them. Or in rough shape, I should say. Now, that is the first stage. I do have to go through and pull out some other ones. So I'm going to start with these. And oddly, the first thing I have are two records that I have only jackets for. Now, I have real copies of these records, of both of these records. But The Best of Blondie and Talking First, the Psychedelic First, Forever Now. Yeah, these are, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. These are just jackets. And if someone wanted them, it'd be fine, but I think the shipping would be ridiculous. So let's get into this. Long John Baldry, who is a UK rock blues kind of singer, maybe a bit of funk, moved to Canada in the 70s and lived here till he died, I think in Vancouver. So often called a Canadian UK or English Canadian musician. This is his self-titled record from 1980. And I played this. It didn't really work for me. These are all cover tracks. I don't know if his other repertoire are also all cover tracks, but these are all cover tracks. The only song I recognized is the "Love Me Two Times" track from The Doors. The rest I didn't know them. So I mean, I guess the musicianship is fine. He has an interesting voice, but it just didn't appeal to me. And I'm looking at the long list of musicians here, and I don't recognize anybody. So I don't see a need to. It says engineer is Dan Lanois, and I'm assuming that's Daniel Lanois, the famous Canadian first engineer and then record producer, musician. But unless you think I'm nuts, I will get rid of that. Here we have George Benson, Breezin' from 1976. Now, I do recognize that this man is a fantastic guitarist. I don't know, is he still alive? I don't know. But my memory of it is this smooth jazz. So it didn't really appeal to me. I bought this because I kept seeing him mentioned in VC videos. And I don't know when I got this. I found it a bit boring, to be honest. There's no denying that he can play a guitar. So that's true. This one worked a little bit better for me. George Benson's Weekend in LA, double record, double live set. And I think his guitar playing really shines through here. But it didn't really appeal to me, and it appealed to me a bit more than the last one, but even then I can't ever see myself playing this record. Again, Encore, The Best of George Benson from 1980. These records are in pretty good shape so far. And, looking at these tracks, I can't even tell you, I don't even recognize any of them. I couldn't tell you the melody or anything about them. Except for the cover versions. I'm guessing Here Comes the Sun is a cover version, but how long has it been since I looked at this, so I don't actually know if it is. But yes, it's the George Harrison song. So if you love George Benson, I'd be curious to know why. This one is a duplicate. The Boomtown Rats Fine Art of Surfacing. I have a much better copy of this. The inner sleeve here is split open, and it does have some hairline scratches. It would play probably fine after cleaning. It has I Don't Like Mondays on here, kind of a seminal song. This is something I found to be really, really boring. The Best of Bread. I optimistically purchased this in a thrift shop. I think I paid 99 cents for it. But man, I think I even read the word soft rock, and I wasn't really thinking clearly because this is really soft and boring. I mean, and what a name for a band. Do you want your bread? Is it bread? Is that like a reference to the food or money? I don't know. I thought it was the food, but maybe I'm wrong. But boring. I mean, boring. Just terrible. If you like bread, please tell me. China Crisis, Flaunt the Imperfection. This is a duplicate, and my copy that is back there is in much better shape. This one, it plays, but a little bit rough. This is a fantastic record, though. Black Man Ray is on here. King in the Catholic Style. This is when Walter Becker joined as the producer and actually was a member of the band, I guess, for a while. But this is a really great record. It's just that I have 2 copies, as I have of this one, My Aim is True by Elvis Costello, and this looks like a rat had lunch here. Great record. It's a little rough around the edges on the inside, but it does play. If you didn't have a copy, it would be fine. So then my question then is like, I don't think a record store would take this, so this might have to be something that goes to thrift shop, or if I ever have a lawn sale, but I want to get rid of them. Roger Daltrey's 12-inch single for After the Fire. Now, if you were to ask me who was the best solo artist out of The Who, I would, of course, say Pete Townsend. Roger Daltrey, despite his fairly powerful voice, has never really appealed to me. So it reminds me that I do have Roger Daltrey records over there, which may have to be in a future Purge. The funny thing is that After the Fire was actually written by Pete Townsend. So what does that tell you? And there are 2 longer versions of other tracks. But, yeah, it just didn't light a fire. This is a duplicate, Echo and the Bunnymen, Ocean Rain. This is not in the best of shape, but it plays fine. Well, fine. It might have some noise. This is their best record, clearly. I have a better copy, of course. But I played this one for a while before I had a better copy years and years ago. Of course, it has Silver, Crystal Days, Killing Moon, Seven Seas, My Kingdom, Ocean Rain. Yeah, this is a good record. Here we have, I do have a lot of 12-inch singles, but sometimes I have things that I don't really think I want to keep. The Escape Club, Wild Wild West. And there are 3 versions of Wild Wild West, and then Wild Wild West, and then a track called We Can Run. Yeah, it's just that I don't think this is something that I need to keep. I don't think it's an essential 12-inch single, so something that I'm thinking of parting with. I mean, it wouldn't be in this video if I wasn't. Marianne Faithfull, A Child's Adventure, and let me just say right off the bat that this cover is an atrocity. I just think this is one of the worst covers I've ever seen. And I think I got this really cheaply, and the reason I bought it is because I knew her from the track Broken English, which I really liked. And then Wally Batteroo is mentioned here a few times as one of the writers, and he's from Level 42. And I thought, well, that might make some sense, but this record did not work for me in any way. I'd be curious if anyone likes it, because it doesn't seem to get a lot of commentary on this record, and I don't think any of these records are valuable, by the way. Fiction Factory, Not the Only One, another 12-inch single. I think this band's from Scotland, so it's Not the Only One extended mix, and Not the Only One a different mix, and a third track. It's probably in okay shape. I'm not a huge fan of this band. There is one track that I can't remember the name of that I don't mind, but probably not essential. I have 2 copies of this Peter Frampton record. Joan asked me why. It's interesting. This one I probably shouldn't even show, because it's probably has to go straight to thrift shop or garbage. I think the record is pretty rough, as is this one, Art Garfunkel's Angel Clare. I have a better copy. I have a copy with the poster. This one doesn't even have an inner sleeve, and there's a split, and this is probably close to being, well, I guess you could play it, but that record never really appealed to me. Some people love it. I just didn't get into it. I have a better copy of Rebel Yell, so this one I'm getting rid of. The inner sleeve is totally split open, but I believe that the record is not terrible. Billy Idol. This is a duplicate. Japan, the Tin Drum. I haven't looked at this record in a long time, but I think it's in okay shape. Probably just needs a clean, but I have a better copy. But this is a really good record with, The Art of Parties, Visions of China, Ghosts, Canton. Yeah, I think this is good. It's just that I have 2 copies of it. That one might be one of the few I can trade in. Well, this one I probably could as well. Billy Joel, An Innocent Man. Man, I'm not really a Billy Joel fan. I have mentioned them before because my sister had Billy Joel records. This is 83, so yeah, I don't really know what to say about this. I don't like the song Uptown Girl. I think it's terrible. It's one of those earworms I can't get rid of. The title track, Tell Her About It. I guess that was a big hit for him. But the weird thing is I do have a second copy of this. This one looks like it had some water damage, maybe. Maybe not water damage. Maybe. No, I don't think it's water damage. Billy Joel's A Nylon Curtain. In a little not the best condition. It needs a clean. It probably is not the best copy, but I will move that along. Allentown is on there. Oh, a truly wacky Elton John record, Victim of Love. What was going on here? I still say that some of the early Elton John songs I don't mind. Of course, by the time we got to the late 70s, I kind of lost interest. And do I even know any of the songs on here? Johnny Be Good, Warm Love in a Cold World, Thunder in the Night. I don't even know them. I used to have copies of, someone gave me copies of The Fox, Too Low for Zero, 21 at 33 or something. What was that one called? A few of those records, which I got rid of a long time ago, but I've had 2 copies of this. They keep coming back to me, and I got rid of one, and I got another one. Elton John's second record with tons of ringwear. This plays. I used to play it. I have a better copy. This actually is not bad. Early Elton John, Your Song, Take Me to the Pilots, 60 Years On, Border Song, but I just have a different copy, so it's okay. This one I know nothing about. Jack Jones Together. It needs to be re-glued at the top here, but I think the record was in okay shape. I have never bothered to look up what this guy's all about, but I was looking at the track listing here. They have songs written by Paul Williams, Gilbert O'Sullivan, Harry Nilsson, what else? Graham Nash, Carly Simon. So there are some popular writers, but I don't know what his deal is, singer-songwriter. Well, he's obviously not a songwriter, he's a singer, so some sort of pop singer. I didn't even know date on here. Oh, now I have to look at the record itself. 73, so I know nothing about him. If you think this is a keeper, let me know. I have 2 copies of this record. This is Get the Knack. I have my original that I bought when it came out. And nothing to be said about this record. Everyone knows it. And I think this is actually okay shape, but I haven't played it. So, sometimes you're surprised because there's a little bit of crackle here and there. But that's that. This one I'm not keeping simply because of the state that it's in. The record itself is fine, but look at this. It's been submerged in water. It's David Lindley and Elroy OX. And win this record. So I can't keep this because I can't keep a record like that in my collection. That's why I'm getting rid of it. Even though the record is fine and plays, I can't have it. Okay, so comedy records are a very interesting thing because when I was a kid, you had only a few opportunities to hear comedy. You watched Johnny Carson, or you had a comedy record. But after a while, do you really want to listen to them again? So Steve Martin, Comedy's Not Pretty. There's no denying this is a really funny record. I mean, he's a funny man. I love Steve Martin. Even today, he's fantastic. But how many times... Look at that gatefold. Beautiful. How many times can you listen to a record, a comedy record? I had Bill Cosby records, which I got rid of. So I haven't listened to this since, I don't know, I can't even tell you the last time. But, so I can't see myself listening to that again. Steve Martin's a wild and crazy guy. Again, funny man, great banjo player. Hilarious. I mean, these are classic, but I don't know if I'm ever going to listen to them again. The band I've mentioned before, Canadian band called Max Webster, featuring Kim Mitchell. That's him on the front. By this point, the band membership had changed so frequently that he may have been the only original member by then, although I can't really be sure. This is the last record from 1980. I saw them on this tour. And, of course, he went on to a solo career with songs like Go for a Soda and Patio Lanterns, which I didn't like as much as Max Webster. Max Webster were really good. This is, my memories, this is in pretty good shape. Of course, I haven't looked at the record in a while, but I have a better copy. This is also a duplicate. And I'm not a huge John Cougar fan. This is the Lonesome Jubilee, but I just happen to have a different copy, which is better. And I'm sort of like a borderline fan. I used to like them, then I stopped liking them. And, sometimes I don't mind songs here and there, but I can't even remember my other copy when the last time I listened to it was. Here's a little dedication to Ben Rankins, who is currently on the left coast of Canada. Men at Work. Business as usual. And if you know his channel, you know that he does not appreciate this kind of Australian music. And he's kind of, I think it's fair to say he's irritated when people know this, but they don't know something like The Birthday Party. So, but I have a second copy of this, which I bought way back when. I mean, this has big hits that we heard a lot here. Who Can It Be Now? Down Under. We heard these so many times in Canada, as we did their follow-up, Cargo, which I also have a second copy of. What was on here? Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive, I guess, was the big track on here. So those are duplicates. You know, as much as I love 12-inch singles, I don't keep them all. This is a modern English record, ink and paper, 2 versions of ink and paper. I do like modern English. This is a promo copy. There's nothing on the back. I don't wonder what this Free Being 129 2nd Avenue. I wonder where that's from. No inner sleeve here, though, so I think I'll move it along. I do like the band, but this I'm getting rid of because I have a duplicate, and honestly, the record itself is not in great shape. This is Gary Newman's The Pleasure Principle, which is a fantastic record. And actually, the inner sleeve is in pretty good shape, but it's a duplicate and not in the best of shape. Now, I'm going to have to give my apologies to Gary at Physical Format Rock and Roll for the next 3 records because I cannot keep them in my collection. Olivia Newton-John's Greatest Hits. There she is. And what is on this record? If Not For You, yeah. I honestly love you. Have you never been mellow? Have you never been mellow? That's a funny way to put it. Come on over. Don't stop believing. Yeah, I mean, I may have mentioned in the past that I had a brother who was totally into Olivia Newton-John, so I know all her songs. I don't know. Yeah. Physical from Olivia Newton-John. I think this record is in a little less good shape than the last one. Maybe needs a bit of a clean. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess the big track on here is Physical, right? Which is one of those earworms which you cannot get rid of. And then finally, Totally Hot. Someone bought these for $1 somewhere. I don't know. And I got them in that box of records. But I said I would check them out. I just can't keep them in my... This is one of the ones my brother had on 8-track. So he heard it over and over again. And I don't know. I can't keep them. Sorry about that. This is a duplicate. Robert Plant's The Principle of Moments. The picture's at 11, sorry. This is in fine shape. It's probably going to be a trade-in. I don't know. We could probably get like $2 or $3 for that. I don't like country music, and so Charlie Rich, I guess I'll get rid of. There's no inner sleeve here, but it seems to be in okay shape. I just don't like the country music thing. Speaking of country music, Kenny Rogers' Greatest Hits. Yeah. I do know some of these songs. The Gambler, Lucille, Coward of the County. That might be it, because I heard them at home. My parents had them, but I'm not a fan. Kenny Rogers Love or something like it. What's on here? I don't know these songs. I don't even know when this came out, but Kenny Rogers. Here is a really beat-up copy of the Rolling Stones Tattoo You, which has to probably go to the garbage or a thrift shop. Maybe someone would want it. Here is a copy of the Rosington Collins Band, This Is the Way. And oddly, this is the second copy of this record I have. They keep coming to me. I got one years ago and I got rid of it, and then I got this other one. This is in really good shape. The vinyl looks really impeccable. This has a cutout. I guess it was a remainder here. Not really a fan. It's in good shape though. Bob Seger, Stranger in Town. This looks a little rough, but it does play fine. With a few, there's some noise between tracks. There's some hairline scratches here, but Stranger in Town. I have a second copy of this as well. Hollywood Nights is on here, still the same. Old Time Rock and Roll. Yeah, we've got Tonight. This is also a duplicate. Big Night Music from Shriekback. Can't remember if there's a printed inner sleeve. This just has a white one. I think this is in okay shape. And this is fantastic. Black Light Trap. Gunning for the Buddha, Running on the Rocks, Pretty Little Things, Underwater Boys. This is great. This is also a duplicate. Simple Minds, Strange New World. Unfortunately, there's no inner sleeve in here, but the record is actually in fairly good shape. This is a great record, though. New Gold Dream itself. What a song. I bought this, I think, at a thrift shop for almost no money. There's no inner sleeves. It's a double record from Sky. There's this lyric sheet. Is it a lyric sheet? No, it's just information. There's no lyrics, as I recall. Just information. And to be honest, I think I looked them up before I grabbed them. They were like $1 or $2. It just didn't appeal to me. I don't even know what genre this is, but I think the records are in good shape. But did not appeal to me. Neither did Sky 3. This one does have the printed inner sleeve. Yeah, I guess some people would like this. I understand why. It just didn't work for me. Here's an odd one. One of my favorite bands called Spoon. This is Hot Thoughts from 2017. And you might be wondering, why is this in the box? It was $26.99. I bought this record and I got a replacement because this copy has two problems with it. One is that this isn't really a problem. I was told that, and you can actually see there's 2 labels on side A. You could probably peel it off. It's bubbly because there's a second label. It actually is coming up in places. And also the record isn't flat. I don't know if those two things are related, but it does play, and I have played it, but it was frustrating because it wasn't flat. And I thought a new record should be flat. And so I had lost my receipt for the record store, and so I wrote to the company, and they sent me this, and I just kept this one. There's a download card, but I don't know if I used that download card or the one in my other copy. So Spirogyra, which is Stories Without Words, 1987. There's no inner sleeve on this one. What are they, like smooth jazz or something? I know Greg at 3 Dimensions of Music has mentioned Spirogyra. I had a friend who liked them. I just didn't get into it, and I don't think I'll ever listen to that. And then we have Spirogyra, self-titled, from 1977. This one does have an inner sleeve. Didn't really get it. Spirogyra Incognito, plain inner sleeve. Yeah, again, I just didn't. There's no way I'm going to listen to these again, I don't think. But if you're a fan, I'd like to know why. This is another one that came in that box of free records. I had the Statler Brothers, and some of those records I just got rid of. There's a few that I hung on to for a while. Sam St. John reminded me of the song, the title track, Flowers on the Wall, and when I looked up, I realized it was a song my dad used to run around the house singing, so I do know that. This is in pretty good shape considering its age, and I can't remember when it came out, but it still oddly has the shrink wrap on it, which I find fascinating, because I think this is from, probably not going to tell me the date, but it's quite old. But it doesn't really appeal to me, so that one's going. I'm not really a fan of sticks. This is Equinox. What is on here? Do I need to light up? Right, Lorelei. Right. Yeah. This one may have seen better days. I think it does have some surface scratches and pops and clicks, but ring wear as well. But I'm not really a fan of sticks. This one I'll maybe dedicate to Gary at Physical Format Rock and Roll. Look at the cover. Yeah, Sweet Sensation. I don't know where this came from. It's called Sincerely Yours. It's a 12-inch single. It has 4 versions of Sincerely Yours. Now imagine listening to all those back to back. That's the extended club version remix, the Charlie D Basement Beat version, the extended radio version remix, and the Percarella dub. When did this come out? 1988. I don't know anything about this. I don't think I've ever heard this song before. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's worth a fortune. A 12-inch single from Tom Verlaine from Television, and I think I'm getting rid of this because it's not in the best of shape. It's got a lot of hairline scratches, but normally that would be something I would keep. Tom Verlaine. Talking Heads, Remain in Light. Fantastic record. It has the original sleeve plus the lyrics. And let me pull this one out because I think I have, of course, a better copy of this. And I think the reason is that this one is actually, this isn't, it does have some hairline scratches. I don't know if a record store would, no, well, there's, yeah, I don't think a record store would take this, but a thrift shop would. And if I ever had a lawn sale, I'm sure I could get $1 for it, but it's a good record, though. Timbuk 3. This is a promotional copy of the song Reckless Driver. I do have the album that this came from, but it has the edit of Reckless Driver and then the LP version. I didn't see any reason to keep this. Interesting band, though. Here's an import from Tina Turner called Two People, which has the Two People Dance Mix, and then Two People Dub Mix, and then a track called Having a Party. This is from 1986. It definitely needs a clean. I've never played this, obviously. I don't know where it came from. But that will be moved along. Here's an oddball compilation. Needs to be re-glued. Wings of Sound. Today's original hits and stars. It's such a weird track list. You have Lead Me On by Maxine Nightingale, a song my brother loved. We've got a Commodores track. We've got Ian Gome, Rex Smith, and then Gotta Serve Somebody from Bob Dylan. In the midst of that, after Lead Me On, that's weird. Randy Van Warmer, Casey and the Sunshine Band, Rupert Holmes, Cheap Trick, Ain't That a Shame. Isn't that weird that they put that on there? Born to Be Alive, that sort of novelty track. Patrick Hernandez, Ring My Bell, a disco track, which my brother also loved. Cruel to Be Kind by Nick Lowe. Dream Police by Cheap Trick. And then a Kenny Loggins track. Very weird. Too many tracks probably for the amount of grooves you have here, but it's in good shape. This one I'm getting rid of because I have a good copy of this, a complete copy with the 7-inch single in the booklet. This is in terrible shape, but it does have the book. But, I mean, if someone wanted that, I guess. But I don't think the record is in very good shape. And then 3 records from the same guy. So we have, what's this called again? The Light of Smiles by Gary Wright. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. I remembered that Steve at All the World's a Stage showed some records by this guy. And then we have The Right Place by Gary Wright. And then the famous one, The Dreamweaver from Gary Wright. And this one someone had taped with cellophane tape at the top. I don't know, are these worth keeping? I haven't listened to them maybe ever, except this one maybe, but is it wrong to get rid of these 3 records? That's my question for you. And then finally, here's a wacky thing I have. This is Kurt Cobain's montage of Heck, which is still sort of in the shrink wrap, still sort of sealed. It's been torn a little bit. I bought this because I was in Urban Outfitters and it was discounted to like $8 or something, $9-10. And then I bought it because I thought, well, yeah. But when I came home, I streamed some of these things and I was a little underwhelmed by it. So it's just sat here and I'm not sure whether I should try it again, maybe stream it again. And I haven't checked the Discogs value to see if this is actually worth anything. It has a download card. I'd be curious to know what you think of this record, if I should keep it or not. And that's it for something I would guess I'll call part 1. And I hope that wasn't too long. It may have been boring, but let me know if you think I've made a mistake. Obviously some are damaged, so there's no point in keeping them, but I will move these along with some question marks, I guess. Okay, talk to you later.